Well, I am a geek. I grew up very geeky, and I also grew up kind of thinking that maybe my geek interests, I was really into Star Trek, and I was also really into comics, and I grew up maybe thinking that that wasn't normal, and especially wasn't normal for a girl geek. Or for a girl to be a geek. It wasn't what I saw in my daily social activity. I didn't see many girls like me, so I really wanted to dedicate this book to all the girl geeks who are out there, and maybe felt like there weren't other girl geeks that they could reach out to. But I love the geek characters, and nothing could possibly go wrong. My favorite is Joanna. She is the head girl geek of the story, and she is a designer and driver of the robot in the story. And she is just awesome and badass and can really kick robot butt. And then there's Nate, who is one of the two main characters of the story, and I really like him because he's a different type of geek. Like he's not repressed. He's picked on, but he's also like assertive, and he knows what he wants, and he goes out and gets it. And I thought that was a really interesting, different type of geek character. It feels like comics have really changed, especially in the past 20 to 15 years. I know 15 years ago when I was a teenager, when I was really in my mid-teens and desperate for comics, there just wasn't a lot published that I was interested in. Like sure, there were the superhero comics, and I read some of those. I read X-Men, but there wasn't a lot of stuff that I felt really engaged by until I found Jeff Smith's Bone comics, and those were just amazing, and I was like, oh, finally, comics for me. And now it feels like there's a lot more diversity in the work being published. So we have stories for boys and girls. Stories where girls are not excluded; they are included within the story. Stories with queer characters, and it's really exciting to see this broad diversity of new works that's being published. And then the internet will service any comics niche that you enjoy. Like whatever comic you want, someone has probably made that comic and put it online for your enjoyment. Prudence is the writer of Nothing Can Possibly Go Wrong, the writer of the original prose book. So basically what happened was my publisher, First Second, bought the rights to Prudence's original prose novel, which was originally called Voted Most Likely. And then they asked me if I would be interested in adapting it for comics. And I read Prudence's novel, and it was great. It was really funny, really over the top. A lot of comedy in it, and but it still had some really cool emotional moments in it. It had heart. So I read it, and I thought it would make a really good comic. So we didn't collaborate directly throughout the process of turning it into a comic. What I did was I just went and did an outline of her original book, what scenes I felt would adapt well to comics, and then gave her that, and then wrote a script, and then gave Prudence that, and then she would, go back and forth with me, and we'd decide whether or not, this was an appropriate adaptation of her work.